What's up, you guys, and welcome back to our channel.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Today we are going to do an updated Q&A. If you guys check me out on Instagram, I did post a little question box and we got a ton of questions in. Obviously, I think mostly about like postpartum and baby stuff, but there's a few fun little questions sprinkled in there too. So
Okay.
without further ado,
Let's get going.
get going.
Let's get it.
First question is, were you always so neat and organized? Y'all's house always seems like a model home. You want to answer that?
Yeah. Answer is yes. I mean,
Yeah.
we've always been neat people. I think this is one of the things that we kind of liked about each other.
Yeah, for sure.
When we first moved in with each other, that was kind of one of my I was like, okay, is she neat? Is she cool? And then as soon as we got in there, we both figured out that we were clean, and it was like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's like even when we have a downtime, which I mostly have the times where I'm kind of like I'll get like I might leave something in the wrong place or something like that. Brandon will usually go behind me, or vice versa. If he leaves something, I'll go behind him. So we just kind of like tag team it, and we've just always been like that. So having a baby really doesn't make it any difference. There's just more stuff to make sure it goes back in the right place.
Yeah, I'll I know a lot of people, they used to tell us like when we had a baby, all that was going to change and it was going to get junky and stuff like that. But in my mind, I'm like, no, you just do the same behaviors. It's just
Yeah. And it teaches her too.
Yeah.
So I think that's another
Oh,
thing.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I think just naturally we were raised like that. And it's not really that I can understand if maybe you have multiples where it can get a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But with one, especially now because she's not really like walking around throwing stuff everywhere. You know what I mean? So for now, yeah, it's the same.
Ain't nothing changed.
Yeah.
Basically.
And we like it to look like a model home. We set it up every morning. Like if we don't fluff the pillows and stuff like that, we'll do it in the morning, or we'll do it before we go to bed and make sure the sink is done. So it's just kind of like putting a little bit of effort in, you know.
It's doing it by habit.
Exactly.
And it's our routine. So it's like I said, nothing changes. You know?
Exactly. So. Someone said, I miss the comedy and skits. Why did you guys stop? That's a great question, actually, because I don't even think we ever really addressed it.
Yeah, so when we first started our channel, and I'll be brief, but when we first started our channel was really supposed to be like a travel vlog channel.
Yeah.
And because COVID happened, we had to pivot because we weren't no longer doing traveling. And so we were like, okay, since we're at home, working from home, we really aren't getting out as much. Let's pivot and do something else.
Yeah, bring people on the inside of what goes on in our house.
Yeah, because it's comedy inside the house. So we kind of were just, basically we brought to life what we were already doing anyway. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the comedy and the skits and stuff came in. And then we realized that while it's cool to do that, we want to kind of pivot back to what we originally wanted to do, which was travel and vlogging and things of that nature.
Like more family type of stuff.
Yeah.
And just stuff that kind of makes our channel or our platform more of a diary.
Yeah.
Versus just like pranks and stuff like that. Like give it more substance and stuff that we can actually look back on and, enjoy, and baby can look back on and enjoy.
And I really think it's also geared towards the fact that, a lot of people, they like the comedy and like the pranks and stuff like that, which is cool. But I think for what we do and in us welcoming Ocean into the world and stuff like that, we really just wanted to settle in on family stuff because it relates to a lot of people.
As we've grown and as life has changed, we're now a family, we have a child, we're parents.
It's
you
just different.
change. Yeah, it just happens over time, right? I can't explain it. Just kind of like your style, like my home style. When we first started, it was like glam, and then it was like black and white, and then now it's more like neutral and warm and cozy, or at least I want it to be. Give that vibe. So it's just kind of like the progression of life.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
also think that part of the crossover was we just really hope that people would follow us for who we are, not what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and so the authenticity of who we are and what we do, we just hope that people would come over and cross over with us. So I get it. Some people like the pranks, they like the comedy, they like to laugh and things of that nature. And that's perfectly fine. It's just for us. We just felt like it was the perfect time for us to just get out of that
Transition,
element.
and it's still like laughs and it's still fun, right? Because
Yeah,
that's just naturally who we are.
yeah,
It's just not so much like pranks and like setup,
yeah.
like skits and stuff like that. So it's still fun,
But
but
don't
it's
get it
just
twisted. I do miss getting her because I used to hit her with some cold ones.
we all, if y'all know, y'all know. I was
No, I
the
was better
one.
for real. But anyway.
Anywho, next question. All right, any marriage advice for newlywed couples? I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that I feel like really made us solid in our marriage was the fact that, so basically, we got married and COVID happened, and we pretty much were like, it was me and him. It wasn't like going to a 9 to 5 and being gone for those hours. So being gone out of the house 10 plus hours every single day. Then you have to come home and like hurry up and try to catch up and all those things like that. So with us, it was us 24/7. And so we had to be like intentional with our communication, with our like keeping things spicy and so stuff like that. So I feel like if you are newlywed, really focus in on, especially if you are back in office, like spending 10 plus hours out of the home, just make sure when you come home, you slow down, be intentional with your partner, be open with your communication, talk about how your day was, but on a deeper level, not just like, oh, it was fine or it was cool, but just like really continue to keep that spark going, because it's really hard with the hustle and bustle of work and business and then coming home with the children, and if you have children, or your fiance, and it's just, it can be a lot. So I would just say make sure you slow down and be intentional with your communication.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I would say do not let external factors influence your marriage. And
He's so good at this question.
no, I love this question because when you're just starting out, it's supposed to be about you and your partner. And you guys need to make sure that you are on the same page and aligned. And when you have external factors influencing that, it kind of gets chaotic. It'll throw you off. You'll be pulling in different directions based off of what people say, and you really don't truly get to align with your partner. So, my advice would be don't let external influences come in between your marriage. It's I don't want to say it's you and him or you and her, however the dynamic is, against the world, but it's kind of like that starting out because remember, you guys are two different backgrounds, two different people coming together, trying to learn each other, trying to mesh, and trying to make sure that things are on the up and up. And so you really need to block out those external factors so that way you can really zone in and focus in on your partner.
Definitely. And by external factors, that's social media, couples, that's family, that's friends, past experiences, or past people's stories. Because I know a lot of influence comes from people's past experiences. Sometimes they mean well, but them telling you their past experience, it kind of makes you think like, oh crap, like we will probably go through that, or maybe this is what marriage looks like, and
Hmm.
you really just need to have your own experience. I think that's the best thing. I tell people that about marriage and about pregnancy and becoming a parent. You need to have your own experience and take with a grain of salt about what people say, especially about their past experiences.
And I'll tell you this, it's nothing wrong with you getting inspiration from people, right? You may have parents that have been married 50, 60 years. So it's like they're a book of wisdom, a book of knowledge. What ends up happening is that when they some people, you know, when they invest one thing into your situation, then they just feel like they can control that situation. You know, sometimes, not saying all the time, sometimes. So you have to just really be wary of somebody giving you advice versus somebody just thinking they're a part of your marriage. And then with social media is going to tell you what it should look like. But guess what? That's social media. They're giving you a 30-second highlight of what's going on in their world. Behind closed doors, we don't know what's happening. That's why you really shouldn't depend on that. Just lean onto your own understanding, pray, ask God where you need clarity and conviction, and just kind of focus in on you and that other person without having all that extra noise trying to control what you got going on.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with having great examples to look towards,
Absolutely.
but I think it gets cloudy in things when you kind of try to mirror that example.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
For sure. Hope that helps.
Best part about being a parent. I love this question. It's so fun. I'll go first.
Okay. Look, she couldn't wait.
It's like, dude, I love being a parent. I literally feel like I was put on this earth to do that. And it's just everything. Like, I love everything about it. I love the experience. I love the journey. I love the fact that we get used to one thing with her, and then in like 2 days, she doesn't do it anymore, and she's on to something else. Or she's like trying to show us something else. Like right now, she is so determined to be a sitter. So like no matter what, even if I'm changing her diaper, she'll be like this, like leaning up on the couch, like trying to like sit up, and I'm just like, girl, we get it. So I think it's just like the constant, like it keeps you on your toes. And I think for someone like me, I needed that, like, because I'm such like a homebody, I'm such like a lax person sometimes, and so she just kind of like keeps you on your toes, like, oh shoot, what's she doing today, what do you look forward to? She's eating different things, and she likes this, and she turns her nose up at this. So it's just so many things I like about it. But I think overall it's just like her becoming a person with personality.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. I love it. For me, it's piggybacking off of that. Like I love the growth. I love the development. I love that, you know, now she's eating regular food. I love the fact that she's drinking water. Stuff that obviously she, you know, didn't do when she first arrived. And so really I look forward to the pediatrician appointments.
Yeah.
Because those are fun because it's like every milestone you hit, like every pediatrician is a different milestone. Or now every visit is like, okay, we can do different things now, and just really just locking in with her doctor to make sure everything is good. And I love those appointments.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's so important to have such a great doctor that you really love and feel comfortable with, because she just kind of like reassures us and stuff, you know. Yeah, and like it's just nice. Like it's so important to have a great pediatrician.
No, for sure.
So, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
She makes it so interesting and like reassuring, and you know,
like this last appointment, like I was writing stuff down because this was our last appointment was a 6-month appointment, and so we were writing stuff down because it was like so much information she was giving. She's like, okay, so you can give her protein so she can drink water. So now it's time to kind of wean her off the bottle. And I'm like, I'm just writing this stuff down, excited, like, yeah, like yeah. These. So those milestones are what does it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, are you and hubby planning on having baby number 2?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's not
I would love to.
I don't think we put like a time frame on it.
No.
But it's just kind of like
when it happens.
When it happens, yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
But yeah.
We've been talking about it. I feel like because the maturation process with Ocean is happening so quick, maybe that's making way for the second child.
Yeah, hopefully. I think, you know, in regards to that, because she was, if you're new here, conceived via IVF.
Yeah.
it just makes you kind of like, well, me personally, it makes me like, oh my gosh, like, can I conceive without doing IVF again? Because I really don't know if I want to do IVF again.
Mm-hmm.
Though it was 100% worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot on my body.
Yeah.
And a lot physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So yeah, especially with the first round failing before her, it's just so much like up and down. It's like, and so I don't know. That said, I'm grateful for the process because she was everything and more.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope that we can naturally conceive. That would be the goal, and hopefully within a year, I would say.
Yeah.
Really like tomorrow if it happened, but I want another baby. I love it.
Yeah.
I really love it. So yes, absolutely want to give her a sibling. Boy or girl, doesn't matter, just healthy
mm-hmm.
and here. Okay. All right. This question is from me, I guess. They said, are you back to weight and eating whatever? I guess they're trying to say, am I back to my pre-pregnancy weight and do I eat whatever I want?
That's a good question.
So yes, I'm actually back to my pre-pregnancy weight. I have been actually since like as soon as I delivered. Honestly, the weight just kind of like fell off. I definitely do want to lose maybe about 10 to 15 pounds, but it's not really necessarily baby weight. It's just more like just wanting to be a little bit more healthier. So it's not like I can't blame the baby because I feel like I don't really have baby weight. It just kind of it's just me. It's my weight from eating whatever I want. So yeah, that's what I would say to that. But the weight, like as soon as I was out of the delivery room, I think just most of my weight was like fluid, and I had already gained a few pounds from doing IVF. So it was just kind of like a lot of factors, but I don't necessarily think I can blame it as baby weight. But that said, I am back to pre-baby weight, but I have been. So, thankfully.
That's a good question.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys thinking about moving, or do you plan on staying in your current house until Ocean goes to school?
Good question. So, to answer your question, yes, we are. We've been talking, and we love our home. We absolutely love it. Like we've done a lot to the house, and I mean the memories that in these past 2 years that we've shared have been like, I mean it's just been amazing. Nothing short of amazing.
Yeah.
With that being said, we do realize that we do need a bigger space, especially if we're planning on having baby number 2, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And so we are in talks right now to basically look into our forever home. And we're looking into doing it sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure.
We do like our area. So the goal is to try and stay in the vicinity if we can. But it's just going to be where we can get the most bang for our buck. But yeah, I mean, we've enjoyed this space, but we're kind of outgrowing it at this point, so now it's like time to focus in on the next house.
For sure, because when we bought the home, we obviously didn't know if we would be able to have a baby, and now that we have her, it's like, okay, she needs like a little playroom, she needs space to be able to really move around and do her own thing, and especially if baby number 2 comes. So this space was perfect for
what it served, the purpose that it served.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Especially, it would have been great if, it would have been a great space had we not conceived. So, yeah. And plus, it was our first home that we purchased together. So,
we knew we weren't going to be in it long term. We knew that it was a stepping stone. And like I said, it served its purpose. And I mean, we've just done so many awesome things in this house in these last 2 years. And so now we get to focus on the next. What's next?
So exciting, y'all.
So y'all stay tuned.
Cannot wait. Much sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Best way to make it on social media as a lifestyle creator? I say
That's a good question.
the best
Well,
way
a
to
good
make
statement.
it. I feel like honestly, with lifestyle, it's just really getting out there consistently and being yourself and not really trying to conform into what everyone else is doing. I think that moment of social media, career wise, has kind of dwindled to where at first, everybody needed to kind of fit into this box and look a certain way and act a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just kind of like your uniqueness is kind of more, people like gravitate towards it a little bit more now. So I say just be consistent, um, and just show what you might think is boring, and maybe people will love it. You just never know. That's kind of a thing that we always kind of go back to sometimes. Like, even still, as far as we've come, we still have those talks like, do you think this will be interesting? Or do you think this is boring? Or do you think this is cool? Should we show this? Should we not? So it's always just trying to, it's a constant thought.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time, and I have done every single thing you can imagine. I've scrubbed toilets. I've worked at a bank. I've fried chicken. I've worked at a gas station. I've worked at a clothing store. I mean, I've done every career you could imagine. And even my latest career was human resources. And
Wait, you fried chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder why our chicken be so fire, because you got experience with it.
I used to work at Zaxby's.
Okay.
So
I was okay.
That was my first job out of high school.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I've done it all.
Yeah.
The corporate, the everything. And social media is constantly something that is something you really have to work for. And this is not like a knock towards any of those careers, because I've done them. But I just feel like I could shut it off. I could go at 9, shut it off at 5, and not even think about it. With social media, it kind of doesn't work that way. It's something that's always constantly on your brain. You always have to work at it and find new, creative, different ways to show things. And it's really one of the most difficult careers that I've done, which sounds crazy, but it's not easy. But it does take consistency and just not giving up. Had we given up the first 10 times we said we were going to give up, then we wouldn't be here.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. No, that's everything she said. You gotta be consistent. You gotta keep knocking on that door, and you gotta, like she said, gone are the days where you just, like, in my opinion, you just go to a certain niche. No, what it is that you keep throwing stuff against the wall and you see what sticks.
Yeah.
Because when you're starting out, you have that time, right? You can really focus on, okay, what is going to resonate with my audience, my people. So it's about asking people, what do you want to see? It's about asking people, what type of content what kind of content is lacking out there, right? That I can provide. And just getting those answers from people and just kind of just zoning in and just being consistent. Like, the thing about this game is that you have to be consistent, because the moment you stop and the moment you quit, people are gonna, in my opinion, forget about you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean forget about you in a negative way. What I mean by that is, you'll be doing videos, and then people will start looking for the videos, and then we're not getting the videos. Now all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, I gotta go over here because I want that itch scratched.
Yeah.
So now I gotta go over here to Joe Schmo and watch their video because
they're posting.
Yeah, they're posting.
But I was going to add to that, like, this doesn't apply to when you need like a break or anything like that. Those are necessary.
I've always said the opportunity doesn't go away, it just goes to the next person.
That is one of my favorite sayings, because that's the only way you really lose in this, is if you stop.
Yeah.
When you stop, that's when you take a L.
That's when you lose.
Your views are going to fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
Your likes and comments and subscribers, it's always going to fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at any creator, who's anybody, even the biggest creator you can think of, it's not always going to be the same. There's going to be ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about you putting out a piece of content and it not hitting the numbers that you think it should hit because it's such great piece of content. It's really about just continuing to go and not focusing on those things. A lot of times when we post, we just post and that's it. Like we got something else to do or something else to focus on. So you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
And try to focus on, don't do social media for the numbers, do social media for the impact. What kind of impact are you having on those that you influence, right? That's where you gauge if it's working or not, or the success of it. It's not about the numbers, it's about who are you reaching in your life, and they comment and be like, you know what, this just changed my life, or you made my day, or you put a smile on my face. That's what you need to be focusing on. And as you focus on that, you'll take the numbers out of your mindset and you'll just do it because it's what you've been called to do.
Yeah, you just want to make people laugh, or you just want to inspire people in some way, or yeah. So, okay, next question.
These some good questions.
They are. Okay, do you still breastfeed, and how do you make, or are you making baby girls food? So we ended our breastfeeding journey, and it really wasn't, like, I didn't have this whole, like, expectation of myself to do it or to not do it. Like, I was grateful to be able to do it for as long as we did. And when we stopped, we both just stopped, and we were good with it. Like, she was good, I was good, and it just worked out. So
yeah,
we did it for as long as we did. Loved it. Absolutely. It was not actually, it really wasn't difficult like people say it is. I think the most difficult part about it was just kind of being out, and you either have to pump or get back in time for feeding. So I would say that was probably the difficult part of it, but there was like no pain or anything like that. So yeah, we ended that and went to formula feeding, and then now I've been making her food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for breakfast, well, she has like oatmeal, and I'll mix fruits in it, or things like that. Like today she tried a piece of sausage and she had her oatmeal on the side. And then for lunch and dinner she'll have, like, I'll shred up chicken, or not shred it, but it's called like pureeing her chicken, mixing it with rice and veggies, and she loves it. So it's so easy to make. Honestly, it's so easy. Actually, if you are interested, I'll drop the little food processor that I use for her, because whatever I want to give her, I literally just throw it in there, mix it with some milk, and it purees it super quick, whether it's veggies, chicken, fish, whatever. So
I love that thing. It even steams it. It steams it, and then it puree. I mean, you can blend it.
To puree
so it does. Yeah.
I love doing it, actually. So I think we're gonna probably continue doing it, just until we get tired of it, and then we just won't. And then I'll buy something else, or we'll just give her solids, or whatever. But
it's been working out.
It has, like,
I don't. There hasn't been anything that she hasn't like taken a liking to.
No, she loves everything, and it's not hard, but. Yeah. I feel like what I love about our parenting style and about her personality and stuff. She just kind of like goes with the flow, and we go with the flow. Whatever works. Whatever we want to do, we do, and it's our decision. We love it, and it works.
And see, that's why I earlier when I said external factors, letting them, you do what works for you, what makes you comfortable. Either your baby's gonna like it or not gonna like it. Then you can kind of pivot and adjust as needed. But it's all about you and doing what works for you. Yeah,
because like even like jar food is great too. We've just been choosing to make it at home. But am I against it, and I'm gonna shame a mom for feeding her child, whether it comes out of a can or homemade? No, it's just whatever works for your household. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, has having a baby affected your intimacy? And I hope it's not TMI.
Actually, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
I mean, the answer is no. I mean,
no.
That's the only way I can put it. No, it hasn't.
No.
I mean, I don't have anything else to say.
So in the beginning, obviously, after you have a child, like the first 8 weeks, obviously there's nothing going on. But after that,
You just
whatever works for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
If it needs to happen when the baby's sleep or whatever, you still do what you do. You know, it hasn't. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. Someone said, "How are you?" with a bold U. So we're gonna start with you, Dad. How are you?
I am great. I'm great right now. I think what's going on in my world is just becoming a dad has really kind of changed the game for me as far as mentally, emotionally. I just feel so fulfilled with, welcoming that addition to our home and just focusing on things that I'm trying to do from a, I don't know, from a standpoint of, business, relaunching the podcast. It's been great. Gotten great feedback from that. And then us just doing our social media. We're getting back to traveling, which is obviously one of my passions is traveling. So we're in a good space right now. I'm in a good space right now. I'm starting to really zone in on my close friendships. And so now I'm focusing on quality versus quantity, which is what I actually said. I talked about in my last podcast that I did. So y'all go back and watch that. But I think for me right now, I think I am in a good spot. I've been getting back in the gym. I took like 3 weeks off, and I was just like, oh, I just didn't feel right with doing that. And so things are starting to happen the way that not only God designed them, but the way that I'm wanting them to happen. So mentally, I'm in a good space.
I mean, honestly, same with me. I don't really. I think honestly, everything's been great. Like marriage wise, motherhood wise, business wise. It's just. I mean, it's just rolling. Like I don't. Everything's great mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I will say for me, one thing that I do want to do more, and because I kind of, I wouldn't say falling off because that's such a like intense statement, but one thing I do need to do more is get back to us consistently praying.
Oh yeah. We do.
We do, but it's just not. It's not like it should be.
Yeah, like we used to pray together like every single night, and then like that type of thing. But we need to get back into that and that takes intentional time, setting that time aside.
Yeah.
But if you're a parent, like those, like when it gets kind of late at night, that's when baby gets a little bit, like a little bit more, you need to give them more attention, and so it just kind of falls to the wayside, unfortunately. But yes, I will say that we do need to focus on more,
and that falls on me as the husband, as the leader. That falls on me to get us back into that space where we're consistently doing it, because at the end of the day, nothing else matters but your relationship with God. And so for me, it's like I just want to make sure that I'm aligned with him and that he's the ultimate decision maker for me and for her and for our family. And so the only way we do that is by continuously and consistently communicating with him. So that falls on me to get us back into that space. So that's my goal. If that's one thing I can work on.
How do you juggle motherhood and content creation?
Oh.
Or the lack thereof. It's just, it kind of goes to
Oh, I'm sorry. Before she tells you this, let me just throw in my 2 cents.
Go ahead.
She's gonna tell you that she's falling off from content creating, but in my opinion, I feel like she hasn't. I feel like now is just more intentional about what we're posting and putting out there, and because it's not everything, then it's just more thought that needs to go into it, in my opinion. But go ahead.
I agree. I think that it's not her fault.
Yeah.
It's not motherhood's fault. Well, I guess I just love it so much. I just want to be like cuddled on the couch with my baby all day, and that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's been a challenge to be intentional with getting it done because that is our business and my job.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely something that I have to constantly work on every single day. And then as a mother, content creation is even a little bit more busy. So that also kind of plays a factor. Sometimes we only really have the time to do the things that we're contractually obligated to do.
Like our brand deals and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's tough, So it's not her fault by any means. It's just me needing to be a little bit more intentional about it. So it's definitely a challenge for me right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's a challenge because if I could have it my way, I would just cuddle her all day, kiss on her cheeks, and sniff her, and that's it. Like, that's all I want to do. That's like the best thing ever. I think we still have kind of like, I still have kind of like that. I'm still kind of in the little baby bubble.
The baby, you're in the equivalent of the honeymoon phase for marriage.
Yeah.
She's still in the baby honeymoon phase, and so that hasn't dried up or anything. And so now it's like she's treating it as if we just brought her home for the first time. I'm being honest. I'm not even being funny when I say that. That's exactly how she's treating it.
But with that, I'm grateful that I haven't like lost myself.
Right.
Because with the extra time that I do have that maybe I could be doing more content creation, I've been making it sure to keep up with my nail appointments, my hair appointments, my facials and massages and stuff like that. So like self-care. So I think that's also been, and then time with friends.
I was just about to say, so this last month, Destiny has probably hung out with friends more than she's done like since I've known her.
My entire life,
I've been so proud of her because she's been getting out. She's been going on girls' nights. She's really been keeping herself up and doing her thing. And so it's been a joy to look back and watch that because I'm like, get out with your friends. I got the baby. Just please get out, because having a baby, you just never know what toll that can take on you mentally. Mm-hmm. And then, with all due respect, let's say if there is a situation with postpartum, even though you haven't really like experienced that, you just need that time away. And so she's been intentional about getting out with her friends, going to events, nails, hair, massage, facials. She's been doing all of that, and it's just been such a joy. I think the main thing is just making sure you take care of you, and she has been doing that. So
yes, and I think that's what it's been for me. So I guess the answer to the question would be, it's a work in progress because I've got to balance my time better and schedule things better. So I think that's been it. But I'm just grateful and thankful that I have not been experiencing any postpartum depression or anything like that. So yeah, I've just been enjoying it all and just trying to, it's a work in progress. Is baby girl crawling or standing yet?
She's sitting and she's trying to crawl.
Yeah. She's
showing
a little interest in crawling.
Right. So we feel like at any moment she's gonna start. But so right now she's for sure sitting up, and she'll stand. I'll hold her arms a little bit, but her legs are so strong that she can still just stand still instead of like wobbling. Yeah. So she's doing that.
Yeah. So she's just sitting right now.
Yeah.
Basically.
Sitting up.
All right. Where do you get your home decoration inspiration from? And have you ever thought about becoming a designer?
She gets this question all the time.
I do get this question a lot. And I'm so flattered because it does kind of like spark a little thought like, dang, should I? But knowing myself and my indecisiveness, I just know I would then not like it if I were to really go into it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I know myself.
You know yourself, but you would be too indecisive to try to influence somebody else.
Exactly.
And guys, I'll tell you this. I'm a witness of the indecisiveness because stuff changes in this house like every 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's crazy, y'all. Like,
and I'll look at it, I'll be like, I'll be like, baby, you just did this about like 2 weeks ago, and it looks great. It looks. I'm a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of dude. She's a whether it's broke or not, fix it type.
Like let's see what it is.
Let's see what it is.
It look like.
Yeah. So stuff will change on the drop of a dime, So I think she looks at that as like with the indecisiveness, she wouldn't be able to influence somebody because she'll just be so like, well, you need this, or I like this, or yeah.
Or maybe I like it, maybe I do, maybe I don't, maybe it's too big, maybe it's too small. I don't know. It's just, I just know that then it will become an actual job, and I think that's what shies me away from actually providing those services to people. So I feel like,
are you saying it'll take it becoming a job will take the passion out of it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like now, I'm just able to like it's fun to help friends and help family, and then do my own thing in my home, and then collab with people on ideas. Like for our next home, I'd love to collab with an actual designer and kind of come up with some cool creative things like that. But yeah, just for me, it's just I get inspo from like we love looking at model homes, so we walk those and we get ideas.
We get magazines.
Books. Our favorite stores, we'll go in and take a look around and get different inspo from that. So I like to make things just look like unique in my home now. I think that we're at a space where it's not just buying anything. It's just kind of like falling in love with a piece and then bringing it home, because the pieces that we have now are forever. That was my goal when we moved here. I was like, I no longer just want to buy stuff just to buy stuff. I want it to actually be stuff that we keep and utilize for here on out.
No, for sure.
But inspo comes from everywhere. Plus, like, it's just kind of like in my family. Like, my mom is really great with home decorating. My aunt. So yeah, it's just kind of like I kind of like get it naturally with, DNA.
That's what's up.
But thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, someone said, this is just a comment, but I saw you're wearing a band now with your engagement ring, and I love it. Thank you. I do have a band now. And honestly, I loved it solo, my engagement ring, and I just one day was like, okay, well, I actually found one that I really love, so now I wanna add a band to it. But before I just liked it by itself, and that's how I wore it.
See?
So yeah,
that whether it's broken or not, don't fix
exactly. That's the perfect example. Because
Yeah.
Brandon was like, "Oh, you want a band?" Like I didn't, and I'm like, "Yeah." Now I actually found one that I really love. Before I just didn't want to just add one just because it matched, or just because, the cliche of having a band.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I've been on a hunt for months trying to find one that I fell in love with, and then I brought it to Brandon. I'm like, hey, I like this one. This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it, and it's kind of like, let me take this off so you can see. But I love it because it's slanted like waves, so it kind of reminds me of ocean waves, right? So.
Oh, that's why you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. You can tell me.
Because it's like they go sideways.
Yeah.
Could y'all see? Yeah, I think so.
But
yeah, if you look closely, the diamonds are slanted. Oh, let's let it focus.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like waves.
All right, cool. All right, we'll do one more question because baby girl waking up.
Just woke up.
All right,
okay,
one last question we got.
Is baby girl sleeping all night in her room?
So we actually just put her in her own room about, I would say, a week and a half ago. Okay, so about a week and a half ago, we put her in her own room, and first couple of nights she did well. Like, she slept throughout the night, and I think right now she's going through her teething process, and so she just kind of wants to be close to us. So she'll be in her room, and then maybe in a couple of hours after that, like, she goes down, she'll wake up, and then we'll bring her back in our room. But
yeah,
I think she's gonna
do in
her bassinet. Yeah. I think she's gonna do good in it. I just think that right now she's going through the teething process, and it's kind of so. But
baby girl has woken up.
So thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. We truly appreciate it. We hope we answered a lot of questions, and let us know if we need to do a part 2. I mean, I'm always down.
Yes. So we'll see you in the next one.
We out.